Assistant United States Attorney, District of South Carolina. We've got Kevin Moore. He's our special agent in charge for the FBI in South Carolina. We've got Sheriff Leon Lott, United States Attorney Brian Sterling. Then we've got Lamar File. He's one of our assistant United States attorneys prosecuting this case that we're going to speak on, as well as L. Klein. They're working on that case together. And then our criminal chief, Ben Garner. Brian?
Thank you. Not to be Captain Obvious, but Elle is not here right now. Anyways, good morning. I'm Brian Sterling, United States Attorney for District of South Carolina. I'm joined here by Sheriff Leon Lott, Kevin Moore, Special Agent in charge of the FBI Columbia Field Office, or the South Carolina, members of our investigative team, and also members of the U.S. Attorney's Office. We're here today to discuss the federal indictment of Jonathan Felkel, who's been charged with a hate crime and a firearm charge. Earlier this year, Sheriff Lott announced Felkel's arrest as he terrorized a neighborhood in Columbia, shot at an African-American man who stood early morning hours in the Spring Valley neighborhood ready to go to work, something we all should be able to do without violence being perpetrated against us, only be targeted and threatened by a man that he did not know because of his skin color. And I should mention, these are mere allegations. Until they're proven in a court of law, these are just allegations. Immediately after the incident, I called the sheriff and said, how can we help? And we started working together with our federal partners. We would not be here today if it was not for the work of our federal partners and Richland County Sheriff's Department. As I've said many times, I feel like we've got the best law enforcement connections and relationships in the country. We're just a phone call away. I don't think that happens in other districts. You have the right to feel safe in your home, your community. Racially motivated crimes hit at a very core of our fundamentals of this country. Everyone you see up here is deeply committed to protecting that right. I'd like to thank the investigators and prosecutors. I'd like to thank L. Klein, Lamar Farrell, and the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. I have the indictment in front of me. It's a 2-count indictment. It's right here. And he's been charged with violation of 42 U.S.C. 3631B, 18 U.S.C. 924 C1A, 18 U.S.C. 924 D1, 28 U.S.C. 2461C. I don't know if this is on Pacer yet, but we can get you copies if it's not. Veronica's behind you. Count 1 carries up to 10 years because of the possession of a weapon during that crime. Count 2 carries up to 10 years, and those, if he's convicted, he would serve consecutive, not concurrent. So they would stack on each other. Not to mention the state violations that are still out there. I'm going to kick it now to Kevin Moore from the FBI. If he has any questions or anything you'd like to say.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everybody. Again, Kevin Moore, Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Columbia Field Office. Every person in this country has a fundamental right to live, work, and move freely without fear of being targeted because of bias and hate, which has no place in our communities. This case is deeply disturbing. Hate crimes do more than harm an individual. They send a message of fear and intimidation to an entire community, which is why we take them seriously. We are grateful that the victim was not physically injured in this incident, and we know that the emotional and psychological impact is real. The FBI, alongside our law enforcement partners, is fully committed to investigating these crimes. We will dedicate the necessary resources to identify, arrest, and prosecute those who attempt to divide through fear and harm. I want to thank the Richland County Sheriff's Department for their swift and decisive response, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Both are amazing partners. Finally, I want to remind all South Carolinians that the FBI investigates federal crimes, federal hate crimes. If you are a victim or a witness, we urge you to come forward. You can call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip online to tips.fbi.gov. Speaking up helps protect not just individuals, but communities at large. Thank you.
Sure.
Hate crimes exist in Columbia, South Carolina. They're here. And this is a case that's a great example of that. It's unfortunate that our victim was subjected that morning to the hate that he had to suffer. While he wasn't physically harmed, emotionally and mentally, he suffered, and he probably will the rest of his life, but also that community, Spring Valley community and the whole community of Richland County, when this was made public, to actually see and hear how someone could do what this individual did. As the U.S. Attorney Sterling said, as soon as this happened and he found out about it, he contacted me, and at that point asked that would the federal authorities look at it, and the FBI got involved, and this is why we're here today. This is an example, again, of what we can do when we work together as one team. Here you have the local agency with the Sheriff's Department teaming up with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office to bring justice to someone who needs to be brought to justice, not just for the victim, but also for our community and for our state. Hate's there. We got to do something about it, and this is a case, I think, that's going to send a big message to anybody who thinks and believes they can go out and commit a crime that's based on hate. It's not going to be tolerated. Locally, Richland County Sheriff's Department's not going to tolerate it. Just not United States Attorney's Office is not going to tolerate it. Neither is the FBI. We're going to work together and make sure these individuals, if anybody else does this, is going to be prosecuted like this gentleman.
Thank you. I think what you're seeing here is a united front against what happened, and I think you'll continue to see that as we work together with local, state, and federal officials and prosecutors. If we can answer any questions that you may have, hopefully we've done a good job of informing y'all, but does anybody have any questions?
With respect to press release last night by Main Justice, it referred to hate crime in housing.
Yes,
Could you translate that into layman's?
I can. You wrote my talking points for me. That's right. One of my first questions I should have probably said when I was talking. The federal charge is a violation of the Fair Housing Act. It prohibits discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, or national origin. Protecting the people in renting, buying, getting mortgages, or other housing activities. This indictment alleges that Felco violated that statute by using force, threats of force to interfere with the victim and other African Americans' rights to engage in housing activities protected by the Fair Housing Act.
And that includes just owning a house and subdivision and being free from hate crime type of.
Yes, I mean, I think it protects people where they live, how they work, where they work, how do they go to work, if they rent, or things of that nature. That's the goal of the Fair Housing Act. All right.
It was sort of a mystery why Main Justice put out a press release late Wednesday. I've never seen that happen before.
Yes, sir.
Can you offer any explanation?
I don't have an explanation for that, no, but that's why we're here today.
And the Sheriff Lott, with the federal hate crimes in effect, does South Carolina need a hate crime? We're one of the few states who don't.
Yes, South Carolina is one of 2 states who does not have a state hate crime law. We have one locally in Richland County, but we don't have one statewide. This is an example of why we need to have one statewide. Unfortunately, I have to go to the federal government to get somebody charged with a hate crime. We should be able to do it statewide.
Thank you, sir.
WIS has a question for Agent Moore, if possible, in a different topic pertaining to Allen University. Could you confirm that there is an FBI investigation?
Can we wait on that until the end? We can do questions that aren't related to this, and we're happy to answer that at the end.
Was the victim informed that the indictment was coming?
I'll let Lamar.
Yes. The victim was informed that this case, the victim was informed through his attorney that this case was under investigation. After the case was indicted, we did inform the victim's attorney of the result.
Any other questions on that case, that matter? All right.
What's the next step in this case?
Well, as we said, this is an indictment. These are allegations, and so this case is going to go through the normal criminal justice process, and more information about the case will come out appropriately as that happens.
So he's over detained in the Alvarez Glen detention facility, so I guess he'll be arraigned before a magistrate judge in the Columbia Federal Courthouse?
Correct. That date has not been set yet.
Thank you.
Any more questions on this Richland County matter? Sheriff, you want to stop in here? You can. All right, take two. Again, we're here with our federal partners and our prosecutors. L. Klein is main prosecutor on this case, and I will say, it's probably for your floor, it's PD Markets. But Mr. Miller is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. These are mere allegations. This week, the United States Attorney's Office indicted Myrtle Beach pastor John Paul Miller on charges of This week, the United States Attorney's Office indicted Myrtle Beach pastor John Paul Miller on charges of cyberstalking his late wife and lying to federal agents. The indictment describes some disturbing allegations of harassment. A marriage should be a place of peace and support, and it turned into a nightmare for Mrs. Miller. When John Paul Miller was confronted by FBI agents about this, the allegation is that he lied to the FBI agents in an interview. This will work through the judicial process, and just for scheduling, the arraignment is going to be January 12th in Florence, 2026. The two counts are as follows. Count number one is cyberstalking. The allegation in the indictment, which I have right here, is from November 16th, 2022, continuing on or through April 27th, 2024. The defendant, with the intent to kill, injure, harass, intimidate, place under surveillance with the intent to kill, injure, harass, intimidate victim number one, used interactive computer services, electronic communication services, electronic communication systems of interstate commerce, and facilities of interstate and foreign commerce to engage in a course of conduct that placed victim number one in reasonable fear for her death, serious bodily injury, caused or attempted to cause the course of conduct could reasonably expected to cause victim substantial emotional distress. To wit, John Paul Miller sent and caused to be sent unwanted harassing electronic communications to victim one, threatened to use nude photos of victim number one to harass victim number one, posted nude photos of victim number one online without the consent, placed or caused to be placed trafficking devices on vehicles used by the victim, placed or caused to be placed the victim under surveillance to harass and intimidate the victim, damaged the victim's vehicle, interfered with the victim's finances and banking, interfered with the victim's daily activities, all in violation of the United States federal law. Count number two, false statements. On or about October 17, 2024, in South Carolina, defendant Miller did knowingly and willfully make materially false, fictitious, fraudulent statements and representations in the matter within the jurisdiction of the executive branch of the United States. Falsely claimed victim number one had been calling him more than he had called her on March 11th, 2024, when in fact defendant Miller called victim at least 50 times more than she called him. He falsely claimed police had never told him to stop contacting the victim, when in fact the victim was told on March 11th, 2024 by the police with Horry County Police Department to stop contacting the victim. He falsely claimed he did not damage the victim's tires, cause damage to, when in fact the allegations are that defendant Miller used or caused to be used a deflation device to victim's tires. These charges have been filed and unsealed, and we'll see what happens at the arraignment hearing, which L. Klein will be handling in Florence on January 12th, 2026. I'm going to let FBI agent in SAC Kevin Moore come up, and I want to thank them for their work on this serious matter.
Thanks, Brian. So in May of 2024, the FBI launched a full-scale investigation into John Paul Miller after receiving credible information and collecting substantial evidence indicating a sustained pattern of harassment targeting his estranged wife. The defendant's alleged actions were predatory, measured, and inflicted profound trauma. From the beginning, the FBI's mission has been clear: to pursue the truth and ensure justice is served. The indictment lays out disturbing details, including repeated stalking and other forms of targeted harassment inflicted on the victim. These actions caused profound trauma to her, her family, and those closest to her. While this indictment marks the first phase of the criminal process, it represents a crucial step towards accountability. We hope this step offers a measure of peace as the healing continues for the family. The FBI's law enforcement authority is far and wide, and we will always seek truth and bring accountability to those who break laws and cause harm to others. Thank you.
We're happy to answer any questions that we can on this matter. Again, the arraignment will be January 12th by a magistrate in Florence, South Carolina.
Is Mr. Miller now in custody?
He is not.
Is he on bond or?
That's what the arraignment process will be about. They'll make that decision about his,
Is the victim deceased?
Yes.
yes.
Is the investigation continuing?
The investigation always continues. We'll see if any more information comes. Sometimes we do a press conference, people will call us and say, hey, I have information. So yes, the investigation will remain open.
And the victim is his estranged wife?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
You said he's not detained.
He's not detained currently. That's what the arraignment on the 12th is going to be for.
WIS?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Sorry.
Yes, for Agent Moore, as it pertains to Allen University, is there any confirmation into an investigation there at this point?
I can't confirm right now, but we can get back to you on that.
Did you say can or can't?
I cannot confirm
Cannot.
right now, but I can get back to you on that point.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas.